everybody. Welcome back to Luxury Conversations. Today we're going to talk again about something that's not necessarily a material item, but it's something that I consider luxury. Now, I know this is going to be super random, but it is going to be revolving around medicine. Yes, I said medicine. But I'm going to keep it short because I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Welcome back to my channel, Bagged and Bougie. I am so excited to have you here with me today. And like I said, we're going to talk about something super random, which is medicine. So the reason why we're on this topic is because I'm having a little bit of tooth pain. I've been to the dentist can't identify it, and what I'm thinking is I need a root canal. And root canals are super scary. Like, I've only had one ever in my entire life. And I've never had one done or any kind of major dental work in another country. And I live here in Germany, and that is what I have to deal with, is doing my dental work in another country or flying back to the States. So I want to talk about why I don't want to do a root canal in Germany, and it all revolves around medicine. So I'm just going to tell you a quick story from my experience here in Germany, and that's why I don't trust doing medical procedures here in Germany. So a couple of Christmases ago, I decided I am going to go snowboarding, or at least take a snowboarding class. And it was great. It was fun. I was down in southern Germany. I was in the Alps. It was beautiful. It was picturesque. It was the most perfect day. And I was having a great time. I really, really was. But then the snowboarding instructor said, hey, it's time. Let's wrap it up. Grab your boards, grab your gear, and let's head back towards the cabin. Well, you know, when you're in the club and you're having a great time and you're having a bunch of drinks, okay, let's say a bunch of drinks, you're having a couple of drinks, and then you have that last drink, the last drink that did you in. Yeah, we all know, we've all been there. Well, that's exactly what happened with snowboarding. The one thing they tell you to do, actually, does anybody know, what is the one thing they tell you not to do when you're snowboarding? I'll wait, write it down in the comments. Okay, so I'll tell you, if you don't know, already know. They say do not fall backwards with your arms straight. And guess what I did? I fell backwards with my arms straight. On my very last run, I said, I'm just do one more real quick before we're done, and it'll be fine. It was not fine. I fell with my arms straight, and I just laid there like a lump on a log until the instructor came over and said, are you okay? I don't know if my body was in shock or if I was just in denial. But I was like, yes, I'm fine, don't worry. I waited for hours before I went to the hospital. And I mean hours, because I was in disbelief. With a big old lump growing on the side of my wrist, I still was like, I'm fine. So anyways, I went to the German hospital. There was a lot of people in there. People with broken shoulders, broken ribs, broken legs, broken ankles, broken feet, all kinds of stuff. And I'm sitting there, unbeknownst to myself, with a broken wrist. The doctor sees me, he takes x-rays, he says, oh, you have a fracture in your wrist. And he puts a soft cast on. And then he says to me, when do you think you're gonna get to see your primary care doctor? And I said, well, it's Christmas tomorrow, so probably 3 to 4 days. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you some medicine for the pain. Some medicine for the pain. You know what he gave me, y'all? He gave me three 600 milligram ibuprofen for 3 to 4 days with a broken wrist. What am I supposed to do with that? You might as well have given me sugar, a placebo, some water, or just told me to drink water like most men do anyway. That is not going to do anything. 600 milligrams of ibuprofen is nothing. Zero pain medicine. That is not medicine. It's nothing. You might as well have kept it. I was so upset. I suffered. My arm throbbed, couldn't sleep at night for days. Had to make a long drive back to my primary care doctor. And then as soon as I could get in that Monday morning to my primary care, American doctor that is, I was like, hallelujah. What did that doctor give me? I don't even remember, but I'm sure it ended with a Dean or a set. Do you know what a Dean or a set is? Vicodin. Morphine. Percocet. Yes, actual pain medicine, not some freaking ibuprofens. Okay, so they probably gave some ibuprofens too because that's normal, but 800 milligrams and a whole bunch of them because I need to take them every few hours so I'm not in pain. I don't like to be in pain. Now, let me caveat all of this by saying I don't agree with people who abuse medicine, who abuse pain medicine. That's why it's so hard to get now. I only take medicine if I'm in pain so I can get better. I don't want to just sit there and suffer. It takes time for bones to heal. It takes time for bruises and other things to heal. We need pain medication until it heals because I don't want to suffer. I had 2 children, one of them without an epidural, and I suffered. Not fair. Don't want to suffer. So what I asked for is actual pain medication. So with that being said, I got the real pain medication and things got better. The arm healed and moved on. But just to caveat that just a bit, I think I've mentioned this in other videos. I am 44, and 2 years ago at the age of 42, I found out I need a double knee replacement. You're probably wondering, how in the world am I this young and need a double knee replacement? Well, that's a story for another time. And if you'd like to hear that story, please drop me a comment below and I will definitely record that video for you. So I went to a German doctor. They took an MRI and they said, your knees are terrible and you need to have a double knee replacement. And all I could think of was the fact that I got 3 600 milligrams of ibuprofen for a broken wrist. I had a daughter who had 4 wisdom teeth out and they gave her a couple of 600 milligram ibuprofens and some over-the-counter German medicine that is barely good enough for a headache, and she suffered in pain for that. I'm good. I am not about to have knee surgery in a land that's full of cobblestone streets, stairs everywhere, uphill everywhere, and they don't believe in pain medicine? Absolutely not. But anyways, I ended up going to the States, got a second opinion, and guess what? I am way too young to get a double knee replacement. Way too young. So again, that's a story for another day. But like I said, we're talking about luxury conversations, and a luxury to me is to have proper pain medication. No one should have to just suffer, but also do not abuse it. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining us at Bagged and Bougie, and we can't wait to see you in the future.